My name is Dr. Jeff Erickson. I work with Michael Foods. Michael Foods is an egg processing company. I work on the farm side where we supply eggs to our processing plants. In Minnesota we have approximately 2.5 million egg layers and approximately 800,000 growing spaces for the young birds to support those lay farms. As a veterinarian, I take great pride in what we do with our birds, and I think we do very well at making sure our birds get what they need. In this room we house about 65,000 birds. We buy our chicks at 1 day of age, and then at 16 weeks of age they come from our growing facility onto this farm. These birds are approximately 35 weeks old. These birds will stay here for another year. We keep our birds in a cage system. The cages allow us to better maintain the environment for the birds. It allows us to keep the correct temperature in the house at all times. We're protected from the hot summer sun, and we're protected from the cold winter winds. To me, cages actually fulfill and meet the biological requirements of that bird. Birds of this nature, jungle fowl, they lived in small groups, 5 to 8 birds, and that's what we have in a cage, 5 to 8 birds. The cages also play a role in disease control. Someone who hasn't had experience with livestock might consider the farm to be the dirty area and the outside world to be the clean area. For a farm, it's just the opposite. We're thinking about disease. And so from disease point, we know what we have here, we control that, but the outside world, we don't know what's there. And so that's dirty to us. That's why we wear the coveralls, shoe covers, things like that. You notice with the cage design that the feed is accessed immediately in front. There's 2 water nipples in each cage. The floors are gently sloped, so when that egg is laid, it immediately rolls to the front, protecting the egg. We have manure belts under the cage floors, so we are able to remove that waste immediately from the cage. We run that manure through the conveyor and onto a truck, and immediately take that to local farms, local fields, to be used as fertilizer. We have a spreading crew that spreads that manure according to the needs of that soil, and also all in regulation with the NPCA. At this facility, we also participate in the program from the United Egg Producers. With the United Egg Producers, they've got a program out there that monitors animal densities, animal welfare. We're verifying ventilation systems. We want to know what's going on, not just one place, but every cage in the building. We use a computer-controlled system to be the primary controller of the facility. This computer controls ventilation, it controls the timing of the feedings, it monitors water intake, monitors when lights are on or off. The egg production is actually stimulated through light and light changes, light increases. An increase in duration or an increase in intensity is what stimulates egg production. Initially, these chickens will come to this house on 11 hours of light. Once they're here for approximately 3 weeks, we will increase that light slowly for the next 15 weeks to 16 hours. And so during that whole time, the chickens are starting to lay eggs and they're increasing production, much like they would in the wild, going from the springtime into the summer. The simple way to remember egg production is a chicken will lay 1 egg every 25 hours or so. So in a typical week, you might get 6.5 eggs out of a chicken. These birds are fed primarily a corn and soy based diet with additional minerals and ingredients as necessary. We have to feed our birds a high proportion of calcium and phosphorus and vitamin D in their ration to make a good, strong eggshell. These birds in this system always have feed in front of them. We beak treat our birds typically by 10 days of age, which means we trim the tip of their beak off. Think of a beak as a fingernail, and that beak continually grows. So by trimming that tip off, it makes it easier for a bird to eat and drink. And as a function of that, they also waste less feed. The second point, perhaps you've heard of the term pecking order. That comes from chickens, which means they may pick at other birds and potentially cause injury, and we don't want that. One phrase I like to talk about is happy chickens. Happy chickens lay more eggs. You make chickens happy by putting them in a good environment and doing everything you can to reduce stress. And that's what my job is. My job is to make happy chickens. In our processing facility, we take all the eggs from our 1.1 million birds. So that gives us 900,000 eggs a day to wash, to grade. As the eggs come into the facility, first they run through the washer where they are washed in warm water with a mild soap. As they come out of the washer, they are next dried by air blowing. At that point, they are candled. We candle our eggs to verify that the shells are in good quality. By shining a light through that egg, we can immediately see any cracks that might be in that egg. When we move that egg, we can also see the interior quality of that egg and verify again that what we are putting out is a quality product. Every egg that comes into this facility is weighed, and that dictates if that egg becomes a small, a medium, large, extra large, jumbo, or even a super jumbo. Size dictates which carton it goes into, and large eggs are by far the most common, most readily available egg in the supermarket. I think one thing the egg industry does well is we produce a safe, economical source of protein. Per capita intake of eggs in the U.S. is approximately 254 eggs per person per year. That's a lot of eggs, and it's a cheap protein, and it's very healthy protein as well. And I take great pride in helping to feed the nation.